Right, hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Spain. Welcome to the first test race of Gprl in Season 4, the one and only test race that we've run this season. Obviously, as per usual, we have our 18-minute short qualifying where drivers will usually be able to get with three laps, you'd think, in 18 minutes, maybe 4 if they want to push it. And then we have a 25% race this time for the test race, as here's Moraine, the Gprl Season 3 champion from last season's into the Red Bull. You can see rocking the number 1 on his car with that lovely new helmet. Also at the pits we have one of the McLarens, that is Karen, freshly in his new McLaren. And it's also Paddy, someone new to the league in the Renault, who'll be looking to prove himself. Should be noted that tyres available for today are the softs, the super soft, the soft, and the medium. So here are the two Saubers, previous X2 McLaren teammates. These two actually bought Sauber the Drivers' Championship, Constructors' Championship, sorry, in Season 2 GPRL. So a bit of a homecoming for the two of them. They get on well as far as I'm aware. And they'll be, Sauber and them will be hoping that it's a bit more of a successful year this season. So, welcome to everyone watching the live stream. This is qualifying highlights. If you do have any questions regarding season 4, then please do pop them down there. You can see Hugo out in his Force India, all brand new kitted out Force India. Here is Marcos, ex-Ferrari driver, now turned Mercedes driver, coming out the pit lane down into turn 1 on medium tyres. So that's an interesting strategy there for Marcos, considering we are only running a 25% race, so we will see less strategy. Here's Steve, who will be paired up with Ral in the season. Oh, that's Yannick nearly going for a spin. And this is Moraine, current reigning champion on the first flying lap, I do believe, of Season 4 test race. No points will be scored breaking down into turn 4. Very crucial, you get the car rotated, you use up all the road on the exit, you're back on the power before breaking downhill into the hairpin on the left, getting the car rotated quite nicely. Small lockup on the left, but it didn't seem to cost him too much time whatsoever. Braking uphill now, important to keep the rear end in check. You can use a lot of curb trying to just keep the car in a straight line. You see coming up behind the Ferrari of Steve as he's nearly flat out through the right hander. You can see the car struggling. Steve gets out of the way to the left, and then it's hard braking down into the second gear. A little bit of a lockup there for Moraine as he gets the car rotated back on the power, lifting off through the left. Then it's a long right hander. You want to try and keep the car rotated nice to the inside, run out on the outside. Now you got this final section, very important. You get this hooked up before braking into this little chicane. You throw it left, you throw it right over the curb. Use a lot of exit curb. Bit of slide there for Moraine on the exit, but trying to carry all the momentum through. Karen does a 19 for Moraine. It's a 16.9. That's a very impressive lap from Moraine, and dare I say, there's more pace in it. So either Karen made a mistake, or Paddy doing a 25.2. That's not a representative time of him. I believe he may have backed off. I believe Yannick might have backed off. But right, Jarno goes second with a 17.4. So currently, the current series champion, not doing too bad for himself. If nearest competitor half a second back, that is. Let's see who else is on a lap. Is Yannick up to the line, 33.7. This is him pretty much restarting this lap. We did see him back out of it. So everyone down from Karim, they don't have representable times. We've got Hugo. He hasn't competed loads in GPRL, if I'm going to be completely honest. So I think we're yet to see his true pace. But you could argue if he's able to get in the mix, there could be a couple of podiums coming his way in the brand new Force India team. I'm just going to get up the standings from last season so we can compare. We can compare drivers or the teams and what they should be expecting. Marcos goes 4th with a 20.1. Dare I say there is a lot more pace in that car, as he's just short of, well, just over 3 seconds slower. So concerning at the minute how quick Moraine is. And it'll be interesting to see. You can see Yannick again making another mistake, going quite wide there. As we're throwing it up the hill, I believe that's is that Hugo? That is Hugo off with a bit of a mistake there. I believe Yannick's backed out of it as well. So we have a lot of drivers struggling in our first test race. Yannick into the pits, but notably up in P2, Karim on the second row of the grid in P3. Although I do believe a lot of people either haven't set lap times or have set non-representative lap times. You can see Steve there off onto the gravel. That'll cost him a lot of lap time. And does he back out of this one? I don't think he's quite pushing that full pace. Saying that, he's not turned the ERS off, so maybe you can see wide again there. If we're going to put on the lap data, here we go. Telemetry. Going quite wide there is Steve. And off to the left, he's hit his front wing. And that's not gone incredibly for the Spanish driver for Ferrari. Obviously his first outing for Ferrari. So I think if we're going to look at proper times, I think the only people we need to focus on is the top two. Marine setting a very strong 16.9. You know, to be completely fair to him, not too far back, just 5 tenths back on the 17.4. And it's Karim who's just come out the pits on a fresh set of super soft. He'll be looking to make an improvement from the 19.4 to try and get closer. Marcos, I do believe, has more pace on softer tyres. Paddy, here he is coming out just ahead of Moraine. I believe he is on his outlap also, so a little bit of squabbling there between the two boys, but hopefully there's no contact between the two of them. It could be quite interesting. You just see Moraine wanting to pass him. Does he not want to pass him? No, he's going to stick behind him for now. So, is anyone on a lap? No, they're not. Karim. I think Karim's going to be the first one to cross the line. And if we're going to check our standings in terms of the team standings, it was Renault actually last year who managed to clinch the title right at the end. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep up that. That's Moraine going slow. That's the yellow flag. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep up that runner form in a way. You want to say? But here is the all-new McLaren. Karim on another lap. You can see that is Steve coming out of the pit lane, hoping for a little bit more success this time. It was braking into turn 1, hitting the first apex quite nicely, getting the car rotated again for the second part of the chicane. You can use a lot of runoff on the left before rotating the car flat out for this turn 3 right-hander, before breaking down into gear 4, you'd say, for turn number 4. Before getting back on the power, again using all the road on the exit. Probably could have used a bit more there, but it didn't lose too much time. He's got quite a nice run through the hairpin of turn number 5 before running down the hill, then back up the hill for 6 and 7. Seems quite a tentative lap so far for Karim, so maybe just not much pace in the car, or he's on an out lap. We'll have to see. So this is Marcos on his on super softs this time, so we might get a more representative time for him. That's Moraine and Paddy getting very close. You can see, oh, was there contact? I believe there may have been contact between the two of them. Paddy's off to the right. And in terms of Moraine, I don't think there's too many problems with his car. But here's Karim as he rounds the final corner. Maximum ERS up to the line. He improves, it's an 18.3, it's closer, but it's not close enough for the time being for Moraine. So we'll look to Yana now in the saddle, but whether he can make inroads on Moraine's time at the top, it's yet to be seen. I think there was a car off to the left. Yeah, that is Hugo making a mistake. So a couple of mistakes here in the early stages. You can see this is Paddy without a front wing and still getting caught up with Moraine. So interesting situation between the two of them. Yana's backed off. And this is the man we watch now. It's Marcos. And if he's on a fast lap or not, I'm not sure, unless the telemetry's a little bit awkward. Now I believe he's backed off as he's not in full high ERS mode. We're going to have a quick look at the tyres. The best. So you can see everyone's setting their best lap on super soft tyres other than Marcos here. But you get the idea that that will be changed as maybe if it was a 25% we'd have a little bit more strategy. 50%, sorry, we'd have a bit more strategy, but as it's just a 25%, there's not loads of different strategy. We're expecting a one stop from super softs to softs, but we may see a super softs to medium with some early divers in, should there be any. And here's Marcos on his lap. It looked like quite a nice run through turn 1 and 2. He's had a decent run through turn 3 as far as I'm concerned. Into turn 4, getting the car rotated quite nicely, using a lot of road on the exit, not too much. That was a lovely line there from Marcos as he breaks down the hill into the hairpin at turn number 5, picking up power quite nicely. A little bit of a slide on the exit, going to the outside before clipping both curbs, back up the hill, and we got the fast right, don't touch the grass on the left, because you'll do a Brandon Hartley, go off straight into the barrier. DRS activated as we're flying down this back straight now, and braking hard at the 75 metre, before rotating the car into the little hairpin. Then it's up the little bump before turning right for a very long right-hander. Back on the power before braking into this final little section. Very important you get this right. Chucking it left, then chucking it right. You can use a lot of curb. Bit of curb on the exit. Probably could have used a little bit more exit curb there, but it's a run up the line. It's been a good lap so far. Marcos goes on to provisional pole position. That's an incredible lap there by Marcos, a 16.4. So very good effort by him to knock Moraine off the top spot. And that is massive. So I thought the 16.9 was a very good lap. Marcos, half a second quicker. So well on him. And this is Yannick now on soft tyres. So he's obviously going to try do the alternate strategy. And Sauber, actually I've just checked as Yannick breaks into turn number 1. Sauber are actually a team. Oh, Yannick getting very out of shape. Sauber finished bottom last year, so you can say it can only go up from there. A team that can't be said about though is Renault. I mean, things can't go up anymore. Paddy currently in 6th without a representative lap time. You know, they'd hope. I'm sure he'd hope. We hope that he can improve on that and get in the mix. We have a comment on the live stream, so I'll just check that for you. Hi, hello, WeSMG, or Wes AMG, sorry Wes, welcome to the live stream. Hope you're enjoying yourself, hope you're enjoying your Friday night. I certainly am, as I'm commentating over the qualifying session. Gprl, can you read comments? I can read comments, yes I can. You can see, oh, that was Yannick getting not an incredible run. Yannick's struggling this quali session, I'm not gonna lie, he really is. And as his teammate going through, is he on a fast lap? Someone went through, but yeah, Yannick back into the pits. He used a lot of sets of tyres. Anyway, who's on a lap? Right, Hugo, yet to set a lap through the fast right-hander. Activating the DRS, breaking down into the hairpin. I didn't mean that as an insult. I didn't think it was an insult, Wes, don't worry. But yes, I can read comments. Oh, and that's Hugo gone round. Hopefully he doesn't mess up anyone else's lap. But Hugo's struggling. You have to say struggling in his new Force India. Possibly can't get the setup right. So here's Karen prepping for what you'd think. He's got time for 2 laps, so maybe we'll have a push, a back off, and then a push if he's quick. Or just kind of have a shout out. Yeah, shout out to Wes AMG on the live stream. If you want to shout out, just pop it in there. Wes, how's your night been? You enjoying the live stream so far? And who is your pick for pole? And I'll get that done in a moment. So, is this Paddy? This is Paddy on a fast lap through turn 1 and 2. What's your favourite F1 team? My favourite F1 team, personally, I'm a Red Bull fan. And this is Paddy. Very tentative, you'd have to say. Very tentative. I think he's just trying to get a lap in, maybe. I'm not completely sure, because he's definitely not up there in terms of pace with the rest of everyone else, from what I can see. I like Mercedes. Fair enough. I can imagine you're a Lewis Hamilton fan then, Wes. We've got yellow flag in sector 1. What's that? That is Steve. Steve, another person struggling today. That's Steve. And he won't have time to come back into the pits. He's got front wing damage, so that's not great. for Sir Steve Matam. But he was a real pick for the title last time. So it's not started incredibly, although I do have to reiterate no points are scored today. Yannick is out on a fresh set of super softs. This is Karim on his fast lap. I believe he'll be on his final fast lap now. He's just done an 18.1 to secure P4 for the time being. The top three guys are all coming out now. We've got a lot of other people coming out now. You can see this is Yannick. We're right on board with Yannick, who's yet to set a representative time. He's warming up his tyres. Hugo currently getting stuck behind Moraine there. Neither of them on fast laps. This is Steve, who is cutting corners into the pits, but and he's hit the wall. But I think that's going to be Steve. That's his session over, because I'll be very surprised if he's managed to get the new front wing done. And back out. Oh, that is Paddy. Paddy's off. I'm not sure where that is. That's at turn 4, so he's gone. He's gone straight on. Not quite sure what's happened there. So, Hugo, he's on an outlap. Paddy just had an accident. Yannick run up to the line to start his lap. If I got lap data on, here we go. So we're going to follow Yannick on his lap. First, I believe this is first lap on the super soft tyres. It could may not be, I'm not quite sure. A little bit wide through turn 2, so which did slightly compromise his run through turn number 3. But nevertheless, back on it and braking down into turn 4 using a lot of the road there. Back on the power, getting the car rotated downhill into turn number 5, get the car rotated, not really hitting the apex but getting a nice exit. He will gain time on the exit there. That's braking up the hill, throw it left, throw it right, a little bit of oversteer. That's Paddy off on the right. I believe he's retiring and out of the session, is he? I'm not quite sure. But here's yeah, Paddy retired from the session. That's his session over. Karim retires on an 18.1, so he can't improve. Now we look to Yannick. He hasn't had a bad first 2 sectors so far as we follow him through the final sector. This is where he's been having his issues. You can see slightly more tentative than the other drivers, just trying to put in a decent lot of casinos. If he can do this, it won't be too bad at all. So through the final corner, trying to carry all the momentum. DRS activated. It's P4 for Yannick. He does have another lap in hand, so Steve won't get round. Hugo is on a lap, but he's got grassy tyres, so he's had an excursion. How much that's affected his lap, I'm not sure, as he gets the car rotated quite nicely over the bump. Meanwhile, this is Marcos, who is on his fast lap as Hugo does get out of the way. And I believe Moraine is finished from the session. Yes, he is. So Moraine can't improve from P2, meaning he doesn't have pole. Marcos, who is the pole sitter for the time being, off into the wall, struggling on traction. So, who can make the difference? Can Jarno, in his re-debut for Sauber, get onto the front row through the final corner? Is it a possibility? No, it's not. He stays P3. So now we look to his teammate, who's coming through the final sector now. Up over the hill, you can see his tyres screaming, the rear tyres. Those 2 laps on those pushing have not done them much help at all. But is he up? I'm not quite sure, can't see on his dash. You can see a bit of understeer, the tyres are struggling. He's going to go into the pits. It's a little bit of an anticlimax at the end of the session there. But that means it's going to be Marcos on pole position for the test race of season 4. So good session that was, and I believe that is Marcus' first pole position in Gprl, although unofficial. But you know, you can't have it all. Mercedes, who actually finished 7th in last year's constructor standings, a long way off Red Bull up in 6th, actually get pole position. And this will be the first pole position since Terry back in season 2, I'd imagine. So there are your final qualifying results. Very good lap there from Marcos, 5/10 clear of leading champion Moraine. And it's the 2 Saubers, they'll be pretty impressed with that, you'd think. And it's Karim, up in P5. Not a bad effort. I do believe there's more pace than that. And then Paddy, Hugo, and then Steve all have a lot more pace in them. So it will be interesting to see what they can do. So, it's race time. We got the formation lap. Anyone on the live stream, do feel free to drop a comment. I'm reading. Do you play Fortnite? I do. But this is not a Fortnite channel. This is a racing channel, as you can probably tell. Be right back, got to go. Okay, seeing a bit worse. Ooh. So as we just wait for the drivers to load into the session now. Slowly waiting. Would like to mention to you we do have a full grid. As we're just waiting for Yana now to join before we can get going on our formation lap. So here we go, lights out and away we go for the formation lap. Drivers warming up the tyres. It's going to be interesting to see what the Saubers can do into turn 1. Hopefully they don't come together. I'm hearing that Paddy did get in the way of Moraine's lap, so that could be interesting. I believe he may have affected Yano's lap as well. So although we will have no penalties, as this is Marcos who's dropped back a little bit on the formation lap. But although we will have no penalties, yeah, not something you really want to be doing in your first race, and Gprl not really making the greatest impression by taking someone else out. So, we've got Moraine leading the pack, although not officially, as everyone warms up their tyres. This is Marcos slowly making his way back to the front. And one thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that we have the tyres on, because I do know from season 3 that there has been issues with with tyres showing something that's not. All drivers starting on the super soft tyre. So not going to be a big variety in strategy. You'd expect a one-stop predicted strategy. You'd say 17 lap race. You'd probably expect drivers to come in around lap 7 or 8 if they're doing the softs, but if they're doing the mediums you can expect them in anywhere from lap 3, I'd say. But here we go, drivers lining up on the grid. We've also, as always, got a couple disqualified from the formation lap. Got Marcos cutting his way through a couple of cars. We'll just ignore that. And it's about time. I've missed doing this. We go to 5 red lights for Gprl Season 4. And we go green in Spain. Do we go green? I don't think we're green yet. Ah, it's lights out and away we go. That took quite a while. As can Moraine get down the inside of Marcos? No, he can't. Karim's had a good start. He's up into P4. But as we look, focus on the leaders, Marcos leads into turn 1, followed by Moraine. Then it's the Sauber and the McLaren scrapping away. Karim up to P4. Yannick's turned around by Paddy, I do believe. We look further forward. Hugo is off onto the gravel. That's going to be him. Down out, Steve's made his way up into P5, Karim up to P4, Yana holding in to P3 as Merjan, who is led by Marcos as we go down the hill into turn number 5. As you can see, Hugo getting picked up, Yana hopefully with Yannick, with no damage, and then it's Paddy followed by Steve, followed by Karim, Yana, Moraine and Marcos, who's already made a 9/10 gap between himself and the Red Bull. As we look further back, can Yano challenge Moraine into the hairpin? He's late on the brakes, but not late enough, and was probably quite ambitious for him. But Steve clearly shown that there was a little bit more pace than what was illustrated in qualifying, as he's right up the back of that McLaren. and whether Steve will be able to make a move or not is currently unknown. So, who are the real losers from the start? You'd say Yannick. The real gainers, I think Steve is probably the main one, as he's right on the back of Karim now. As we cut to Marcos set the fast lap of the Grand Prix. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. That's Hugo off, really struggling this weekend. But this is Steve. I believe that's Jarno. Oh, no, it wasn't. Sorry, my bad. I thought I saw Jarno going for a move, but who is going for a move is Steve. Down the inside, Season 3's runner-up. Season 3's runner-up Steve down the inside of the McLaren driver Karim. He's up to P4. That's a good drive for him so far. Marcos still leading the way in his new Mercedes, followed by Moraine. Then it's Jarno still up there in the Sauber. Would be nice for him to get a podium on his re-debut for Sauber. There is currently a small issue with the timing, so if I we'll leave that off for the time being. But whether Jarno can stick with these two is yet to be seen. We know the pace of these two up front is very strong, and Moraine's teammate Felix. Right, so one thing to mention, cutting off topic quite a bit there, you go onto the medium tyre, so he's going to go to the end of the Grand Prix. Be interesting to see if he can make that work. See Marion squirming away at the rear end as we're about to end lap number 2. Marcos using a lot of curve. No drivers picking up a time penalty yet, which is good to know. Just to note for all the viewers watching at the moment in time, we have changed the corner cutting rules to strict, so you will be seeing a couple more penalties. Will be a little bit more harsh, as Yannick's made his way past Paddy, but I believe he's diving into the pits. I'm not sure if he has front wing damage. Is Paddy going into the pits as well, very tentatively, as this is Yannick in the pits. I don't believe this is a scheduled pit stop. We'll find out. Do they have a front wing for him? They do have a front wing for him, so it looks like Yannick, he's got a lot of work to do today. On goes the new front wing. Out he comes. Not the best re-debut for Sauber, you'd say. Paddy also with a new front wing, so you'd say they may have had contact. The question is, where does Hugo come out in comparison to all of this? Because this could be not a P4, but it could be quite close between Paddy and Hugo. Just watch Paddy. You can see Paddy coming out of the pits there. Can Hugo make a move? Will he look around the outside? Bear in mind his tyres will be warmer as Paddy coming out the pits on cold tyres. Nearly a little bit of contact between the two of them. You can see Hugo squirming away at the rear end. This is a good battle for P7 as slipstreaming now. Hugo is going to look down the inside of turn number 4. He's later on the brakes, and that's quite an easy move for Hugo in the end. And that is Hugo up into P7 as currently we watch back. This is Yannick, I believe, coming out just no, that's Jarno. Sorry, my apologies. Jarno has managed to squeeze his way past the reigning champion Jarno in the Sauber up into P2. I do apologise. I thought that was Yannick coming out of the pits, but incredible stuff there from Jarno to squeeze past Moraine to get up into P2 now, as we have Steve into the pits, and that is Hugo getting a little bit all over the place. But yeah, Steve in the pits now. I'm not sure onto the medium tyre. Yannick is on the soft tyre, and Yannick does get out ahead of Steve, so you'd think that, was that a scheduled stop? I don't know if that was a scheduled stop or not for Steve, but still we've got these two very close. You can see a little bit of greying there during the braking. You can see it on the left front tyre there of Moraine's car. Yeah, so clearly already struggling on just these 4-lap old softs, as you can see. Yeah, very sideways super softs, sorry. And it does look as if Moraine is actually struggling quite a bit, so we'll have to see if he dives into the pits. He doesn't, staying out for another lap. He will get the DRS though from from Jarno, so whether he can make his way back past is yet to be seen. In the slipstream now, DRS activated. You'd imagine he's got a lot of ERS. He's going to look round the outside, but he's not quite close enough. He's have to stick behind for the time being. And it does look as if Jarno is a little bit better on his tyres, as Moraine was quite wide there, as Hugo has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Paddy has dropped off the face of the earth, it looks like. So, ooh, I did see someone squirming. That is that's Hugo going a bit sideways. I do apologise, my voice is slowly dying. I've had a long day. Anyway, Marcos has built up quite a lead during all this battling. Notably though, Yana lower on ERS than, oh, big moment there from Moraine, big save from himself. There's a yellow flag, that's Paddy, who's gone off at turn at the hairpin as he gets lapped there by Marcos. You'd hope that he doesn't get in the way of all this, and is he out the session or is he just parked up? No, he's parked up to let everyone through. Ever so nice of him. So, where are we? Oh, that's Hugo. Hugo off into the wall. Many drivers have been struggling there, and interesting place to struggle, but yeah, quite interesting. Anyway, diving into the pits now, we have the three. Got Karim, Yana, and champion Moraine. Moraine into the box, getting held up, not at all there by Karim, so perfect stop you'd say for him. Where does Yana come out? Yana coming out ahead of Moraine, only just. That's Karim, all three drivers onto the soft tyre. Come out the pits now, Yana ahead of Moraine, so no overcut or undercut for any of them. You'd say Marcos is a little bit too far ahead for an undercut. But through turn 2, it does look as if Moraine is a little bit more confident on the colder tyres than Yana. You see closing, will he be able to make a move? Down the inside, that's going to be an aggressive move. Down the inside goes Moraine, but can't do anything about it. Well defended by Yana round the outside. So it does look as if in the early stages of these tyres, Moraine does have the upper hand. As Yana did go a little bit deep into turn number 5 though. He's got a yellow flag in sector 1, not sure who that could be. We've got Steve and Hugo battling as both drivers dive into the pits. Dare I say there's been damage between these two. Steve was on for a decent race, but yeah, nothing's come of it so far. You'd think, yes, this is the race leader Marcos into the pits in his new Mercedes, so his first pit stop under the Mercedes team. See them coming out onto the garage there. Super soft tyres it is, sorry, for Marcos. He'll be going to the end of the race, and he's under, you'd say, little threat from these two, because I'd be surprised if they're able to close an excess 6 seconds on just a one lap undercut. Moraine, I believe he's dropped out of DRS now from Yano, has he? I can't quite no, he's got DRS and he's closing. He's actually closing quite a lot. Is he going to make a move down the inside? He's not quite close enough, but he's still there, is Moraine. And with 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix, I wouldn't count him out with these two on equal tyres. And that there's two cars there that are quite slow. Hopefully they don't get in the mix of proceedings. Hopefully you can see Yana a little bit flustered. Will Moraine make a move down the inside? No, he won't. These two battling side by side of the two of them, and whilst they're doing this, they're slowing up P2 and P3, Yana and Moraine. Can Yana make a move? No, he can't, but Moraine closing up to him this whole time. He doesn't want to get in contact, and that's exactly what's happened. Yana has been caught up with the Force India. You can see Steve has gone off track there to avoid it, and Yana did get caught up with that Force India, and that's dropped the position down to P3. But with the pace of Yana, you'd think that he may be able to close up to Moraine, as that's Steve going a little pirouette. But yeah, shame there for Yana. You could see it coming really with the back markers, but whether Yana will be able to claw back or not is yet to be seen. It's 1.5 seconds between the two of them, as it's Hugo and Steve swapping places. These two been battling for the race. Meanwhile, Karim in a little bit of no man's land. He's drove a decent race today so far, pretty clean. As it's still Yana trailing Moraine. You see the gap extending between two of them, and I wouldn't be surprised if Yana does have front wing damage. He may, I can't quite tell, as Moraine locking up. As Marcos has a 3-second time penalty for track limits. I'm not sure how much warning are on the two of them, but that could spice the race up a little bit. Looking at Yana's front wing, I don't know if he's got, I'm not sure if he's got damage. I don't think he will have. I hope he doesn't. Looking at the front wing there, it all looked pretty normal. It just looks as if Moraine has got quite good pace at the minute, but not as good as this man. Marcos, he's been controlling the race so far. He does have a 3-second time penalty, but that's nothing that should affect him if things stay as they are, as he sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix in 18.8, which isn't a bad lap for Grand Prix pace, as that's Steve struggling around this track, so you'd hope for his sake that his pace picks up before the end of the weekend, before the start of season 4 officially, you'd say. This is Yannick, who's he's done well to crawl back to P5, but I don't think he'll be challenging for much more on that, as there's 30 seconds between him and Karim. Speaking of Karim, 6.5 seconds back, Steve got a 10-second time penalty for corner cut, and that's quite a major corner cut. As I believe all the gaps are just starting to iron out now, as Steve taking out that sign in pure frustration. As we're going to watch, see if we have anything from the drivers, possibly Paddy, as he's finished, but no, nothing on any of the drivers. Yeah, Marcos, so surprising. Well, I don't want to say surprising because we knew he was fast, but we don't really know this fast, and Moraine clearly struggling with the new rule set. So could we see a big shake-up in order? Because you have to say Moraine hasn't been on it really, and yeah, although you know P2, say what you like, as Steve has got another 3-second time penalty. It's 3 seconds now back to Yana. As we start lap number 10, gap starting to iron out, as there's not much on-track battling to talk about at the minute. So we'll just watch Marcos go around, try him onto the gaps and see if anything starts to happen. As it's a shame that Yana did get caught up in the whole kerfuffle with Hugo, because it would have been nice to see him battle, because that was seeming to be quite a good battle, and would have been nice to see if Moraine could have got past, because Jarno does seem to be a lot more on it in terms of paces. He gets a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits, so this could now create a bit of a spark in Karim, as currently between the two of them there is an 8-second gap, so he'll do well to close it. They are on equal tyres, so it'd be interesting to see if he can close it. Oh, Moraine having a bit of a tank stopper there through the final corner, as Yano is starting to close again. So will we see Yano versus Moraine V2? As Yano is starting to close, it was 2.7 seconds now, the gap. As through the first little chicane, 6.1 to Marcos, the gap between Marcos and Moraine, so I think Marcos is pretty safe in terms of a 3-second time penalty. You just want to be close to, you want to be careful to not pick up another one. But if you're still on the live stream, then please do pop in the comments. Why does it have to be me? Yes, apologies for that, Yannick. In P5, to be completely honest, to consider the roller coaster of a race he's had, he's only dropped 1 place from a starting position, so not completely shocking. Karim's gained a place. Yano's stayed where he started, and so have both Moraine and Marcos. As we're just rounding the track now, finishing lap 11, starting lap 12. It's been quite a quiet race, you have to say, for Marcos. He's had a good burst of space. As Steve, Steve's off. I believe is it in the same place again? It is in the same place, so you can see he's got damage. He's left the session, so that's his day over. It's not been a great day for Steve. We know he has pace. We've seen him previously, win or fight for wins, and he challenged for the title, and he was one half of the Renault constructors winning team last year, so it's quite clear that he has pace, and finishing runner-up in the standings, so that is a shame, and it hopefully does bounce back for for Silverstone is where we race, and for those that are wondering, as Moraine locks up into the hairpin. For those that are wondering, we did announce the calendar on our YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, then what are you doing with your life? 6.3 seconds now is the gap between Moraine and Marcus, so I don't think we've really seen something like this. Moraine really being dominated. Yannick is back in the pits on super soft tyres. It's a 2-stop, and I believe that's Karim. Is that Karim? Karim's lapping Giannis. That just really shows the difference between the two of them. Might be interesting to see this little battle unfold. If they do have a battle, hopefully they don't get caught up, because that could leave them both vulnerable to Hugo. But you'd imagine, I don't think Karim realises, well, he pulled out of that one quite easily, so good on him to realise that he's not really battling him. And yellow flag in sector 3, someone gone round. I believe that was Hugo. You can see slightly grassy tyres. So Steve coming out the pits, but that's his AI, so nothing will come of that so far. It's 4.3 now between Moraine and Yana. So yeah, for those wondering, the calendar, as announced on this YouTube channel, if you haven't seen it, once you finish watching this, do go watch it. Our first race, the start of season 4, because Yana makes a little bit of a mistake there into the section. Our first race is at Silverstone on the 25th of January. Then every race, we race once every Friday. So the next race is on February 1st, and that's in Sakhir, Bahrain. Interesting track, and I don't know if we did run that last season. It was actually Felipe who won from like the back of the grid. He drove an incredible race. So hopefully we'll get another good race. Round 3, it's Mexico, Mexico City. That should be a good race. I can't remember if I think we did run a race there. I'm not entirely sure. Suzuka, Japan, that is a new addition to the calendar. Why it hasn't been on the calendar yet, I'm not sure, because it is highly regarded as one of the best tracks in the world, you'd say. But yeah, that's welcomed onto the Gprl calendar as round number 4. Round 5 is Melbourne, returning but not as the opening round, on February the 22nd. Then it's Sao Paulo, Brazil, which was an interesting race last season. Then it's Austin, Texas. Good old Austin, Texas, round Kota. Really good race in real life last season. And she has Marina, Abu Dhabi. It was an interesting race for all the wrong reasons last time. If you haven't seen that live stream, go check it out after you watch this video. Onto the second page, we got Monza in Italy, the home of the Tifosi, on March the 22nd, so that could be an interesting race with all the long straights, and you'd hope some really close racing. Number 10, Montreal, Canada. Yeah, another really good track, good for overtaking, so should be quite interesting to see. Red Bull Ring, 11, good race. And the last time that was seen in Gprl was actually the second test race of season 2. I competed in it. Finished P6, I want to say. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, for those that are wondering, I am an ex-Gprl driver. Wasn't the fastest. I never challenged for wins, but I was always 4th was my best finish in Canada. That was the yellow flag in sector 3. I'm not sure. Maybe that's for Yannick. Yeah, Yannick, because he's been relapped by Karim. Yeah, my greatest finish was P4 in Canada. It was a good race, and that is actually where Karim got his only podium, as far as I'm aware, on Gprl. So Karim will be looking to add to that tally. Well, everyone will be looking to add to the tally this season. Hugo gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Anyway, moving on. Budapest, Hungary. I believe this is a new addition to the calendar. On April the 12th. And it's Shanghai, China, which I also believe is a new addition. Le Castellet in France, the French Grand Prix, La France. Yeah, bonjour on that. Is on April the 26th. And then Gprl debut for Singapore on May the 3rd, that is the Gprl finale. 15 races in the season. It's actually Hugo going a little bit wide. So yeah, the longest season we've ever run. And for those wondering about the rule changes, we changed the assist restriction slightly, so no longer allowed automatic gearbox, no longer allowed pit assists, and in terms of the race settings, we've got strict corner cutting. I think that's all that changed. We do run a new point system, so which will be implemented next Friday. So the point system that we run is P1 gets 20 points, P2 18 points, P3 15. Then going down, it's 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. To have a, so there's a bit more of a punishment if you miss a race in a way, because there were drivers missing races and still doing quite well in the championship. So that's something we may look into, we may change. It's not set in stone, so if you do have any suggestions, please do put them in the comment section as Marcos starts his final lap. And yeah, that is it. In terms of rules and that, you can find it all on our Instagram page at Gprl_official. The race highlights will be posted later. That's a new thing we're going to do, quality and race highlights, all in one video is what I'm thinking. Oh, big moment there for Marcos. He nearly lost it on the final lap, but thankfully kept it together. The gap between Marcos and Moraine has come down. I believe that could just be Moraine's tyre wear, but I don't think that's going to matter all that much, as Marcos starts his final sector now. In the lead of the race, he's led from start to finish. That's Hugo letting Marcos through. And it's been a very good race for Marcos. Absolutely untouchable. 14 seconds clear nearly of Moraine. He runs the final corner. He's going to win in Gprl. Marcos is a Gprl winner. He wins the test race. Hugo finishes P6 after being lapped. Steve finishes P7. Moraine holds on to P2. And Yana just 4 seconds back. He was mounting a comeback, so you'd say 4 or 5 more laps maybe we've had a battle between the two of them. But Yana getting a podium on his Sauber re-debut, which is great to hear. Karim comes home in P4, not a bad race from him at all. And it's Yannick, sorry, doing some donuts for us all. Thank you very much, Yannick. On the live stream, if you'd like to finish anytime soon, that would be lovely. So Marcos, what a drive from him, yeah, untouchable. And if he carries on that form into the season, then I think we may be looking at someone to dethrone Moraine. Although Moraine P2, not bad pace at all, he drove a good race. Yano would have been interesting to see these two battle, but you can't have it all in life, really, can you? And there was one victor. And that was Marcos, fastest man in qualifying. He got pole race, and I'm not sure if he did get the fastest lap. I can check that. No, I can't. Oh well. I'll check on the screen after. But let's cut to the podium celebrations. Mercedes team happy. They didn't pick up a win actually last season, and Sauber's first time on the podium since season 2 also. So the day of returns from season 2. Really, Toto Wolff very happy, as you will be. Let's see the final race results. So it was Marcos picking up the win, and the top 3 did all get 1 3-second time penalty, and the top 3 finished as they started. And yeah, just to confirm that Marcos did get the fast lap of the Grand Prix, so he did get the hat-trick pole win and the fastest lap, led every lap as well, so really has been perfect race for Marcos. P4 Karim managed to get up after Yannick had his despise at the start. He was nearly P3 for Karim before dropping off, and then it's Hugo in P6. Hugo, Steve and Paddy all had a miserable race, and nothing really to be reflected on for those. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little live stream, and catch us next time for the season opener in Silverstone.